We, first of all, are doing a major upgrade on Selinsing. That is to increase production through the expansion of the plant. Secondly, we are increasing our exploration efforts in relation to Selinsing and Buffalo Reef for future production increase. And thirdly, we have made a major acquisition in terms of the Megapure project, and we would like to inform the market a little bit about that so that they are updated. Well, Selinsing originally started with a targeted production of 40,000 ounces a year. That was our target in the first year. We achieved that. In fact, we exceeded that by about 10%, and producing 44,000 ounces of gold. Our cash cost to date for those first period averaged around $250 per ounce cash cost. And I think for those 2 years and year to date, this year we're averaging around $303 cash cost. The expansion of Selinsing is now well and truly underway. We are putting in another mill which is capable of treating approximately an additional 960,000 tonnes a year, which is a fairly big expansion, about 250% expansion. And that is well on track. It is scheduled to complete somewhere around May this year, and we hope to be able to increase the production once that is in place. So hopefully we are targeting putting a bit of that extra production into this financial year, and that is why we've increased our target to 55,000 ounces this year. What we've been doing over the last few years is building a land bank. We have been going out identifying, acquiring packages of land. We've already reported that rather piecemeal to the market, and what it's resulting in is a very big land package which gives us lots of future exploration potential within haulage distance, economic haulage distance of Selinsing mine treatment facility. That bodes well for the future of the company, we feel, and we've also indicated in news releases that we've expanded the tailings facility to be able to treat 1 million tonnes a year for another 10 years, and we can increase that by a further 10. So that's a message to the market that we are hoping to be there for something in the order of 20 years from now at 1 million tonne a year. Of course, we have to find the resources to do that. We are accelerating now, after acquiring the land, our exploration activities. We've also informed the market that we've acquired more drilling equipment. We are training teams. We have an actual instructor on our staff that does nothing except train drilling teams. And the objective is to increase the number of rigs that we've got, drilling machines, on the site. So between Megapure and Selinsing, we more than likely will be operating at least 8 drilling machines within the Malaysian properties. So that's a lot of activity and a lot to report to the market. So the market can expect more geological and exploration updates. We've recently closed the acquisition of the Megapure project, and that is quite an exciting project. Firstly, it's important for everyone to understand exactly why we've acquired Megapure. We went out and purposely sought a large project that we could afford to buy. And that's always difficult for a small company. We do not want to dilute any further the shareholders any more than necessary, but we want to secure a long life for the company for the benefit of the shareholders. And of course that's a challenge, to be able to find something that's large, something that's expansive, something that's going to last you many, many years, and at the same time expect to get it for a cheap price. So with my particular background, we look for distressed assets, and we just happened to find one just up the road from ourselves in Malaysia, and that turned out to be Megapure. It was a large project, or is a large project. It has much potential, but of course it was in financial distress. There were creditors, there was a bank involved, and the vendor was in a position where he needed to sell. So that is always where we like to enter. And if it's had problems in the past, we like to think that we've demonstrated that we are more than up to the challenge of sorting out distressed assets and operational problems in projects. This project had never really been into any sort of commercial production. It had a positive feasibility study done on it by the original owner, which was the Malaysian government, and it looked a very interesting project, although they targeted different resources. We came along, we looked at this project. In effect, we dealt with the bank and the vendor and acquired the project, and the historic study has been converted to a 43-101 historic study, so it complies with the rules, but it is still historic, and it says that there's 225 million tonnes of polymetallic material in a skarn beneath the surface at Megapure. Now, what's interesting about that is that back at that time, and we're talking 20 years ago, no one considered iron ore, molybdenum and other metals that are actually contained in and around this skarn. And so we have now targeted those resources, and they are the interesting part of this project, because the overburden, which was referred to in the original study, is hundreds of millions of tonnes, and it was going to cost money to shift it to get to the skarn, 200 to 300 metres down. That now turns out to be commercially viable product, so we're now going to get, instead of have a cost centre, we're now going to get paid for removing the overburden as it was. It is now product. We can't quote any great details of tonnes and grade because we have not done the work, other than to be able to tell the market that there are operators who historically have been hauling that stuff away and selling it to the Chinese as magnetite Fe 62%, and they've been getting approximately $160 a tonne for it. So you can run whatever numbers you might like to let your imagination run wild with. Those are facts. We've put that in news releases historically to inform the market of potential, but I don't think anyone's connected the dots yet. We are now embarking on a 65,000 metre core drilling program, and we'll have 4 rigs operating around the clock at Megapure for 18 months to 2 years, and that'll give us the data that we need to be able to develop a proper mine plan, a proper mining scheme and operational budget, and just to give some idea of scale, our first conceptual pit looks like it'll be about 2 kilometres long, so it's a fairly large project. We think that there's more than 20 years of resources there at the moment. We also think it's bigger than the historic study shows, and so we'd like the market to just keep an eye on that. It won't be quick. The market is always impatient, we understand that, so we'll do that as quickly as we can. It's always exciting to find something that is a bit of a mess, but it has huge potential. That's what we see at Megapure. We see that this is a company maker. We can see that this can supply one of our ambitions to be able to pay dividends to our shareholders and earn considerably more in earnings per share than we're earning at the moment. Last year we earned 19 cents a share fully diluted for our shareholders in the first full year out. We believe we can increase that considerably once we get this project up and running, subject of course to all the usual constraints and market forces. So yes, we are excited.